Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. I apologize for this video coming out a little bit late. A project I was working on for a video just didn't end up panning out, so here we are a little bit late, but that's okay. So a few days ago I was perusing through the Gibson website, as I do pretty often, and I came across something that very much caught my eye. And that is the new Gibson SG Supreme. Now you guys might say, well Cole, that's not exactly a new thing, and that you would be correct. However, there are some differences that I think are a very good change for the SG Supreme model. Another reason why I'm really excited for the SG Supreme is that the Les Paul Supremes, the new ones that just came out, not a fan of. I do not like them at all. What makes the Les Paul Supreme so special is the fact that the backs were carved. But if you look at the new ones, they just have a normal flat back that's nothing really special. So to me personally, I don't really see much of a point of the new Les Paul Supremes, but let's check out the SG Supremes. So right now they have four colorways. You have the Fire Burst, you have the Translucent Ebony Burst, which is probably my favorite. You have the Wine Red, of course, and then you have the Ebony. And one of the first things I'm noticing is the price. This is not a cheap SG. If you look at the other SGs they have in the modern collection here, you could tell that it is significantly more expensive than the other most expensive one, which is the SG Modern. And at first glance, they are pretty similar guitars, so I am interested to see what the differences are. Right now, they are only available for right-handed players, which is very unfortunate for you left-handed players. And if you look at the back here, it doesn't seem like there's anything too special about the back. You have the cool, it looks like you have locking tuners there, I'm not totally sure. But look at the top that is on that. That is absolutely stunning. And from the description here, it seems like it just says figured maple top. It doesn't say it's a veneer. So this might be a full thickness top, if that's even possible, on a guitar that is as thin as an SG is. Something that I didn't really like at first, but now I actually really like, is the inlay on the headstock. This is obviously the same inlay they have on the new Les Paul Supreme headstock. And at first, didn't really like it, but it really has grown on me, especially with the Supreme truss rod cover here. I think it's gorgeous. And they're calling this the Chandelier inlay, which I think is a pretty cool name. Another thing that's really cool is they have these really cool split block inlays on the fretboard, which is gorgeous. Okay, upon reading more in the description, it has a compound radius fretboard, which is pretty cool as well as an ebony neck, not rosewood. So before I give you my final thoughts on this guitar, let's compare it to some of the older SG Supremes, because this isn't a new series, they're just bringing it back. This is one of the ones from the early 2000s, and I believe those are replaced pickups, but either way, it's just kind of a boring guitar. Sure, those split diamond inlays are pretty cool, but other than that, there's nothing really special. It does have that top on it, but it's not a nice top by any means. This is just this particular example, but it doesn't really speak to me at all. And if you look at one of the newer ones, the ones from 2016, I think these ones might be my favorite. And the reason I say that is because the body carve is different. I can't exactly remember what it's called, but as you can see, it is a much more drastic bevel on the edge of the guitar as compared to a much more flat, normal shape of the SG. Not only that, but this one in particular does have a gorgeous flame top as compared to this one, which is much more plain. I don't exactly know what to feel about the chrome pickup rings. I don't think that looks very good, but to each their own. And I just think there's too much silver going on. So I think the new SG Supremes with the gold hardware, it just goes a lot better, especially with the more fancy looking guitar. I think gold looks better almost every single time. But if you look at the price of these things, and this one in particular is about $5,000, while this one here is a little bit cheaper. Now, is this guitar cool? Absolutely. Does it do enough for me to want to buy one? No, not exactly. Number one, I already have an SG, so I really don't think it's different enough for me to really want to buy one and, add it to my collection of guitars. And yes, again, it's cool, it's gorgeous, I think it's a great looking guitar. I just don't think it's anything that special, especially for $3,500. I do think the 3 pickup one is pretty cool, but again, I wouldn't see a reason for me to own it. For other people, maybe absolutely, it could be a great guitar for you guys. And maybe if you guys don't have an SG and you want something that stands out, this could be a great guitar for that, because it is going to stand out a lot compared to a normal SG. It's pretty safe to say that you're not going to be able to see these things super often, especially compared to a normal SG. So for that reason, if I didn't have an SG already, then maybe this could be something I would look into getting, because it's something different. It's not something that everybody else owns. I do think that the SG Supreme is just a knock out of the park compared to the Les Paul Supreme. The Les Paul Supreme used to be so cool with the carved back. It was something unique. It was something you wouldn't find with any other Les Paul model. But the new Les Paul Supremes, it's basically just a fancy Les Paul custom made in the not custom shop. But the SG Supreme, I think it is different enough to make it cool, and it doesn't have those sacrifices compared to the old models that make it a lot worse than the older ones. I would much rather buy a used a Les Paul Supreme than one of the new ones. So when compared to the Les Paul Supreme, I think these ones are great, and I think there could be a pretty good buy. But that just about wraps it up for this video. If you guys liked it, feel free to click like, and if you loved it and you want to see more content from me, subscribe. Do you guys think this could be a guitar that you might add to your radar? If so, let me know in the comments below. And if not, let me know in the comments below why you guys don't like it. But again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.